local government. I'm a soybean farmer plant.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Okori. I'm a soybeans farmer. I live here in Monia.
Good morning, House. My name is Zakaria Kudirat. I'm a soybean farmer and hail from Oyo State, Agodongbo area. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. So we'll begin shortly. Okay, stop. Please. Stop. Please. Check that box. Bring it there. You can't get any longer here. You know what you got to do. Why you go downstairs, you can't get any longer. Remove this camera. Turn that down. Yeah, I know.
Tan ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ní kálẹ̀ la ó fún lẹ́bùn fún akitiyan wọn lórí mímú ìdàgbàsókè àti àyípadà báwọn olùgbé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbẹ̀ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ láti ṣètò ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára tó sì lógo fáwọn àgbẹ̀ wa.
RadioIITA Farmers Outreach is a training of trainers initiative designed to empower farmers with the knowledge and skills to improve their agricultural practices. Participants are expected to replicate the training within their cooperative and communities. Kindly share videos or photos of you applying what you learned during the training. Please update us on the entire processes such as planting, maintenance, harvesting, training other farmers in your locality, sharing the harvested improved planting materials from your farms. Please note that for the RadioIITA Farmer of the Year, we will select winners from each crop based on their diligence and success in spreading knowledge and technologies. Winners will be rewarded for their contribution to improve the livelihood of Nigerian and African farmers. Let's work together to create a brighter future for our farming communities. RadioIITA 88.5, broadcasting knowledge for agriculture.
Ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn àgbẹ̀ ti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò IITA 88.5 látún lè pè ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn olùdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ètò yìí la gbé kalẹ̀ láti ró àwọn àgbẹ̀ lágbára pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n lè lò láti mú kí àyípadà ó dé bá iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó jẹ wọ́n lógún. Àwọn akópa nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí la fẹ́ kí wọ́n ran àwọn ẹlòmíì lọ́wọ́ lágbègbè wọn nípa ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ti gbà. A ó ṣèdíje o! Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti jàǹfààní ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí, a fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe fọ́nrán tàbí ya àwòrán yín níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń fi àwọn ohun tó yé rẹ̀ ti yé yín nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí sí ìṣe. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń gbin àwọn irúgbìn yín báyìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń ṣe àmójútó oko yín, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń kórè àwọn ohun tẹ́ ẹ gbìn, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń kọ́ àwọn àgbẹ̀ mìíràn lágbègbè yín, tí bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń pín àwọn irúgbìn tẹ́ ẹ rí látara ìkórè yín fáwọn ènìyàn. A ó mọ àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó bá yányán o nínú ìdíje yìí. Àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó bá pèrègédé tí wọ́n bá sì ṣe àṣeyọrí aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ nínú títan ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ní kálẹ̀ la ó fún lẹ́bùn fún akitiyan wọn lórí mímú ìdàgbàsókè àti àyípadà báwọn olùgbé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbẹ̀ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ láti ṣètò ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára tó sì lógo fáwọn àgbẹ̀ wa.
RadioIITA Farmers Outreach is a training of trainers initiative designed to empower farmers with the knowledge and skills to improve their agricultural practices. Participants are expected to replicate the training within their cooperative and communities. Kindly share videos or photos of you applying what you learned during the training. Please update us on the entire processes, such as planting, maintenance, harvesting, training other farmers in your locality, sharing the harvested improved planting materials from your farms. Please note that for the Radio IITA Farmer of the Year, we will select winners from each crop based on their diligence and success in spreading knowledge and technologies. Winners will be rewarded for their contribution to improve the livelihood of Nigerian and African farmers. Let's work together to create a brighter future for our farming communities. Radio IITA 88.5, broadcasting knowledge for agriculture.
Ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn àgbẹ̀ ti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò IITA 88.5 la tún lè pè ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn olùdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ètò yìí la gbé kalẹ̀ láti ró àwọn àgbẹ̀ lágbára pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n lè lò láti mú kí àyípadà ó dé bá iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó jẹ wọ́n lógún. Àwọn akópa nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí la fẹ́ kí wọ́n ran àwọn ẹlòmíì lọ́wọ́ lágbègbè wọn nípa ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ti gbà. A ó ṣèdíje o! Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti jàǹfààní ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí, a fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe fọ́nrán tàbí ya àwòrán yín níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń fi àwọn ohun tó yìí rẹ̀ ti yé yín nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí sí ìṣe. Jẹ́ ká mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń gbin àwọn irúgbìn yín báyìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń ṣe àmójútó oko yín, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń kórè àwọn ohun tẹ́ ẹ gbìn, bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ń kọ́ àwọn àgbẹ̀ mìíràn. Àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó bá yányán o nínú ìdíje yìí, àwọn àgbẹ̀ tó bá pèrègédé tí wọ́n bá sì ṣe àṣeyọrí aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ nínú títan ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ní kálẹ̀ la ó fún lẹ́bùn fún akitiyan wọn lórí mímú ìdàgbàsókè àti àyípadà báwọn olùgbé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àwọn àgbẹ̀ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ papọ̀ láti ṣètò ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára tó sì lógo fáwọn àgbẹ̀ wa.
Radio IITA Farmers Outreach is a training of trainers initiative designed to empower farmers with the knowledge and skills to improve their agricultural practices. Participants are expected to replicate the training within their cooperative and communities. Kindly share videos or photos of you applying what you learned during the training. Please update us on the entire processes, such as planting, maintenance, harvesting, training other farmers in your locality, sharing the harvested improved planting materials from your farms. Please note that for the Radio IITA Farmer of the Year, we will select winners from each crop based on their diligence and success in spreading knowledge and technologies. Winners will be rewarded for their contribution to improve the livelihood of Nigerian and African farmers. Let's work together to create a brighter future for our farming communities. Radio IITA 88.5, broadcasting knowledge for agriculture.
Ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn àgbẹ̀ ti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò IITA 88.5 la tún lè pè ní ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fáwọn olùdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ètò yìí la gbé kalẹ̀ láti ró àwọn àgbẹ̀ lágbára pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n lè lò láti mú kí àyípadà ó dé bá iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó jẹ wọ́n lógún. Àwọn akópa nínú ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí la fẹ́ kí wọ́n ran àwọn ẹlòmíì lọ́wọ́ lágbègbè wọn nípa ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ti gbà. A ó ṣèdíje o! Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti jàǹfààní ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́.
Great farmers, great nation. No farmer, no nation. Exactly. Thank you for reminding me. I'd like to welcome everyone. Good morning, first of all, and thank you for making it to this training today. We are happy to have you, despite the insecurity, the protest, and everything going on in town. And quite a few number of the farmers, I think, are still on their way to this place. So we're happy to have you, like I said. And you are the second set for this soybean training. We had the first set last year, and they were trained on how to plant, took them through the entire agronomic practices of soybean crop. So you're here, you're going to be speaking with the developers of these technologies, because the reason we brought you here is to introduce you to the technology, the latest technology, the technique in producing or growing soybean. I know some of us have been doing soybean for some years now. I can tell you that you've been doing it wrongly. So, and that's why we are here today, to learn from the scientists, people who do research on this crop. That's the only thing they do in life. That's the only thing. They eat, they breathe, they dream, they wake up with a soybean. So that's the only thing they know how to do. So they're going to be talking with you, training you, hands-on training, not just here in the classroom. We'll go over to the soybean unit where you'll be shown, demonstrated. There will be a demonstration of how you can plant, how you can test your seed. I didn't know that until the first time we had the soybean training, how you can test your seed for viability. This one is no longer going to Iyalagbaja to go and borrow seed to go and plant, and then you waste the whole effort, the money and everything. So they're going to train you how you can test your seed and ensure that you get very good yield. That's the essence of farming. So gone are the days where you're guessing whether this seed will do well or not. You understand? So we'll train you and then give you materials too. The Oga here, he's going to do that. He came with his people, the researchers, and like I said, people who developed these technologies. They're going to train you, take you through all the training. We're supposed to have the value addition according to the post on our WhatsApp group, but our resource person is unavoidably absent. He's critically ill. And we're sorry to, I was also looking forward to, making soybean, learning how to make soybean nuts and spices. But I think we'll do that some other time as soon as he comes out of hospital and is okay. So thank you again. My name is Dajie Odok. Like they said, I'm the lead Radio IITA. And on behalf of my colleagues, we say welcome to you. We are delighted to have you here today. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please. A round of applause. A round of applause. A round of applause, please. Thank you. So for our teaming viewers all over the world, please don't forget that you can also check your WhatsApp and fill the pre-test for this event. And you can also watch. If you have not joined, you can join by checking our YouTube channel, IITA videos. You'll see what we're doing here at the communication unit. Thank you. So I will invite Dr. Abush Abebe now is the lead for soybean breeding unit for his short remarks. Dr. Abebe, please. Round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and welcome to IITA. Welcome, Ekaro, Ekushe. Yeah, good to see soybean farmers. I'm happy that I'm interacting with you today. We need to talk about some of the soybean things as they already introduced. We normally, they and night we think about soybean. So that is what we normally do. Yeah. So we'll try also to show you what we are doing here, our program, how we are trying to support farmers with technologies and all different types of practices. Huh? Yeah, just to start with, you know, let me talk about soybean in general. What is really, why is it important? Why soybean is necessary to produce? Huh? That is a key question most people, most farmers need to understand. Huh? Soybean is both a legume crop and an oil crop. It's a legume crop. At the same time, it is an oil crop. Huh? As a legume crop, soybean has, high nutritional value, which means the protein content of soybean is very high. So what they say is in the research report is that this is a type of grain that can give the highest level of protein than any other crop. There is no other crop that can give as high protein as soybean. So 40% of the grain, about 40% of the grain, the grain, when you look at the grain, 40% of it is protein. Normally, protein is not found in, commonly found in grain crops, but it's normally animal products like milk, like meat, that normally give high protein. But among the crops, among the grain crops, soybean is the one that can give that high protein. So which means even if you may not have cows to give you milk or meat or goats, so you can still get good amount of protein from soybean. That is one advantage, especially feeding your children with soybean, make them healthy and give them high nutritional value, high protein. So that is the beauty of soybean as a crop. That is why it is also globally a very important high market crop, is because of high protein. It is high protein, okay? That is one thing. Making it a legume crop is just means that it has high protein. So most legume grain crops like legumes, they have high protein content, like, for instance, if you take cowpea, these legume crops like beans, they have high protein. But among all, soybean is the one that has the highest level of protein you can find on any of the grain crops. Huh? That is one thing I want you to remember whenever you produce soybean. The high protein content, especially if you are feeding your children, children with protein, with soy protein, make them healthy, make them strong and nutritionally well. They will be okay nutritionally. So that is one thing, very important point. The second point is, as a legume crop, soybean and most legumes have a property of fixing the nitrogen in the air, atmospheric nitrogen, the nitrogen in the atmosphere, they fix it. They have a system in their root system. They fix it, convert it into a fertilizer. That is a nitrogen fertilizer. Where do we normally get nitrogen fertilizer? Eh? Where do you get nitrogen fertilizer? From urea. You know urea. The one you buy urea, you pay money for it. But if you are producing soybean and using a rhizobium bacteria, that inoculum, we will show you later what that inoculum is later. If you are using that inoculum and the rhizobium inoculum, and if you are producing soybean, So this is the. Is it okay now? Okay. So when we are using that Rhizobia inoculum, we'll show you later how to use it, how to apply it, how we can make use of it. When we are applying that Rhizobia and plant the soybean with Rhizobia, the soybean will have the capacity to produce more nitrogen fertilizer, that urea fertilizer. So making your soil better, improved with the nitrogen level. You understand? That nitrogen normally you were supposed to get it from urea fertilizer. But now the soybean has the capacity to fix the nitrogen and make it readily available for your soybean, even for the crop you are producing after soybean. For instance, if you are producing maize after soybean, then it reduces the amount of urea that you require for your next maize. So that is another beauty of producing soybean. The cost of fertilizer, because it reduces the amount of nitrogen that is required for the soybean crop itself, and for the maize crop that you are producing after soybean, it reduces the amount of nitrogen, the amount of urea required. Is it not a good advantage? It can reduce by 50% the urea that you need for maize. If you produce soybean with Rhizobia, it can reduce at least the half amount of fertilizer you may need, urea you may need next season for your maize. Is it not a lot of money you are saving by just producing soybean? Huh? It's a good amount of, but you need to produce the soybean with Rhizobia so that your soybean can fix a lot of nitrogen. So we'll talk about this in more details, but just to give you the overall idea. So what did I say? Again, what is the other advantage of soybean? It is an oil crop. Yes, very important. So have you seen in the supermarket this soya oil in the market, in the shop, soya oil? So the industries in the country, they produce oil from soybean, vegetable oil, the one you are the one we are using for cooking our food. So they process, they produce 20% of the soybean seed is oil. Do you see that? So that is why processing industries also use soybean as a raw material to process oil. The soya oil that you normally find in the market is processed by industries. So then it doesn't stop there. Soybean still continues to be a very important crop as animal feed. After these oil industries, after they crush the oil, after they produce the oil, the soya meal, the soy cake, it is called soy cake. The cake is the residue that remains after removing the oil. Is a very good, a high nutritional value animal feed supplement. Imagine I said it's 40% protein, huh? So when we take out the oil, 20% oil from the soybean, the protein content again grows up in the soy meal, huh? Because the soy meal has already removed 20% of oil. Now the protein content of the soy meal is very high, like it can go up to 60, 70%. That is why the poultry industries, the poultry producers, they need soya meal, soy cake as a feed supplement because it gives them high protein feed for their poultry production. So this is another area where soybean is important. This soy meal or the oil cake, it can be even exported to other countries. Some countries export to other countries, they get foreign currency, they get dollar with it. So it's not only the soy meal that is exported. Some countries export the grain direct. Some countries export the oil. So everything is used. There is nothing you can drop out of soybean. There is nothing you can avoid from soybean. Everything is usable. That makes it a very important crop and a very important crop for many reasons. Now let's come back to production. So Nigeria as a country is among the leading soybean producers in Africa. In fact, in the area allocated for soybean is the #1 country in Africa. But in production, the second after South Africa. We are allocating more land for soybean production in Nigeria, but the issue is the yield is low. South Africa is beating us for production because of the yield they are getting better than us. The yield in Nigeria is, the national average yield is 1 ton per hectare, around 1 ton per hectare. And the total land allocated for soybean in the country is about 1 million hectare of land is allocated for that soybean in Nigeria. But the average national yield is only 1 ton per hectare. Other countries in Africa, Ghana, for instance, they get 1.6. Other countries, they get 2 point something. In Africa, in Ethiopia, the national average is above 2.2 something, 2.4, 2.2. Neighboring Ghana, 1.6. Why Nigeria 1 ton per hectare only? We need to ask ourselves, why should we get low yield? Okay, I can give one reason. We have a very large number of farmers producing soybean because we have 1 million hectare of land allocated, but it's not enough reason. Because when we have large number of farmers means that some farmers produce very low, and some farmers, even if they produce high, the national average becomes still low. Huh? Even if some farmers may get yield of 2 ton per hectare, some farmers may get 1.6, 1.7 ton per hectare. If most of the farmers are getting below 1 ton per hectare, the average still goes around 1 ton per hectare. That is okay, understandable. But what are other factors that we can improve to improve soybean yield, soybean production in the country? That is what we really need to talk about today, to emphasize today, so that when you go back to your place as a farmer at individual level, if you improve yourself, improve your yield, then other farmers can also learn from you, and other farmers can copy. It has a multiplicative effect. You teach others, you learn for yourself, then you teach others, and then it can have a multiplicative effect as a country, so that we can increase our overall production of soybean in the country. Do we agree on this?
Yes.
Yeah, we should. We should agree because this is a very important point. Then what do we really need to improve our soybean yield as individual farmer level? Number one, variety, good variety. Number one. You know, if you are using a random variety which you don't know whether it's going to perform well in your environment or not, and then you give it all other, fertilizer, input, anything, it doesn't give good yield because it doesn't have the natural potential to give yield, good yield. So the first thing you need to do is you need to know the variety that you are producing. You need to make sure that variety is already tested in your environment and then proven to produce, to give good yield in your location. And you don't have to use random seed from anywhere and then start planting. And you don't know the potential of that variety in your environment. It may end up giving you a very low yield. If you are using a random seed that you don't know whether it is good, it is adapted to your environment or not. So it doesn't give you good yield. Whether you weed it, whether you apply fertilizer, whether you do anything, if that variety is not the right variety, it doesn't give you good yield. So number one, variety, okay? You need to know your variety, the variety you are producing. IITA has several varieties recommended for production that are good varieties that have potential if we are using good agronomic practice that can give good yield. Do you understand? Some of our varieties can give up to 3 tons per hectare if you give them good management. The management advice that we are giving you today, if you follow the practice we are telling you, some of the varieties can give you more than 2.5 tons. Okay? That is number one. Number two, good quality seed. If the seed you are producing is not good quality, even if it is a good variety, what will happen? It will not germinate well because it is poor seed. The seed is not well produced under good condition. It is a poor seed. If you plant it, it doesn't germinate very well. So what will happen? The plant population in your field, the number of plants that grow in your field will not be good enough to give you good yield. Then what will happen? Instead of having good plant population, you will have few plants in the field, and then the yield you are getting will become very low. So good quality seed, make sure the germination of the seed is good, the quality of the seed is good. How to do that? They will prepare a training for you, a practical one. You see it yourself. You see how to make sure that the seed quality is good. We will teach you how to really check the quality of the seed, okay? That is one thing that you should learn today to make sure to use good quality seed for your soybean production so that you will have good soybean yield. Do we agree on this? Yeah. If there is any objection, no objection. Good quality seed, okay? We agreed. We agreed on variety. We agreed on good quality seed. Then the next one is the use of inputs, okay? Say you have a very good child, huh? A vigorous child. What will happen to that child if you don't feed him very well? He will be weak, even if he has a potential to be strong, to be very strong boy. If he doesn't get the right nutrition, the right feeding, what will happen? He will not be productive, he will be weak. The same thing, even if you have a good variety that can give good yield, 3 tons, 2.5 tons per hectare, if you don't provide it the care, the management it requires to give you that good yield, it doesn't produce good yield because it didn't get the nutrition that it needs to be productive. So what are those good inputs that you need to use? I said rhizobium, inoculum, Nodumax. Why Nodumax? I said it helps the soybean to produce nitrogen fertilizer in the soil. So the nitrogen nutrition will make the soybean grow faster, grow vigorous, and grow big, grow and can give you good yield if there is adequate amount of nitrogen fertilizer in the soil. So that Nodumax help us to, increase the level of nitrogen in the soil. Do you understand? That is Nodumax. It's very cheap. It's one sachet for 10 kg seed. It's around 2,600. You buy 2,600. It gives you the nitrogen that you require for your soybean field to really grow very well, to have very good amount of nitrogen in the soil. It isn't cheap. How much do you buy a bag of urea? 36,000, 38. But look, you are buying this one sachet for 10 kg seed for 1 hectare. How much? Like if you multiply it by 6 times 6, it's going to be around 12,000, 13,000, or around, let's say 15,000. Huh? Yes. With 15,000 naira for 1 hectare of land is enough to produce soybean. Then that's Nodumax can give you a good amount of nitrogen in the soil if you are using Nodumax. That is one input. Huh? Did we agree? Nodumax is one of the inputs. Huh? The other inputs we may require is fertilizer. Then, we talked about only nitrogen. If we apply Nodumax, nitrogen will be at least good enough in the soil. We need another additional fertilizer, NPK fertilizer, because we need phosphorus, we need potassium. And we need also TSP because the soil also needs additional phosphorus in the soil. So we need those additional fertilizers. I think 100 kg NPK and 150 kg for 1 hectare, 100 kg NPK and 150 kg TSP is important, is good for the soybean yield. Okay? These are other inputs that you need. The other inputs you need is that chemicals for weed management, for weed control. And if your land is not big enough, you can use manual weeding, hand weeding, because it is cheaper. You are using your family labor. But if you don't have that family labor, you can use immediately after planting, you can use other herbicides like glyphosate, fertilizer. You can spray immediately the next day. You planted today, you spray the next day glyphosate and other herbicides. It can control, it helps you to reduce the amount of weed, the weed growth. So that is, do you want to add on this, on the weed management?
So it's important that after planting that you spray, just like I said. We all know glyphosate, different glyphosate, like a Roundup. Any other one that we know? Touchdown. We also have phosphor probably, and those are glyphosate.
Yeah.
But we also have another chemical which is metachlor. Those ones they do systemic in the soil. And we have series of them, different brand name like Stream. We have metaphors. So when you apply those right dose, according to the recommendation, it helps you to kill the seeds, the weed seed. So at least you are safe for at least 3 weeks before you say emergence of weeds. By that time, your plants are already doing very well.
Okay. Yeah, these are the inputs like chemicals for herbicide.
we going to have, how are we going to produce the seeds by ourselves? So maybe that is one of the areas at which we do have the problem of looking for where we are going to get the seed before the arrival. Unlike last year now, I was waiting till the seed arrived from Funtua. So which is not necessarily supposed to be. We contacted the RadioIITA, and the same thing was telling us that so very soon, and this thing is we have a limited time. So there is a specific time for us before we can. So those are my area of the question. So what is happening to all those 1448 and 1851?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very, very good question. I really appreciate your question. So you see, variety has a life. Huh?
Yeah.
Variety has a life. We release it. When it is very productive compared to other varieties, we recommend, okay, this is the variety that you have to produce. But it has a life. A life means it continue being produced. But when there is another variety better than that, we want to replace it with the new varieties. So what we are saying right now is 1448 is a very old variety. We want to really encourage farmers produce 1951 3F, TJX 1951 3F. 1951 3F.
Series F.
Yes.
Okay.
We are now encouraging farmers to produce more of TJX 1951 3F because in our experiment, in the trial, in the tests we are doing, this 1951 3F, TJX 1951 3F has consistently showed high performance, better performance than 1448 2E. Do you understand? Is it clear for you now? Because now we test them many seasons. And when we see that, okay, this one is now better than this, we stop, recommending the other one. We stop encouraging farmers to produce the one that is showing low yield compared to the other varieties. So we are now more of promoting TJX 1951 3F. It's not new as such, but it was not promoted very well. So what we are doing now is promoting it so that farmers use this one over the other.
And 1921.
The other one is 2024 7E. Is a new variety. Especially that variety is good for environments where the rain period, the growing period is short.
Yeah.
It can mature in less than 100 days.
Yeah.
So because of that, we advise farmers in areas where the rain period, the duration of the rain is short during the growing season. We advise farmers to use that kind of variety because it can quickly mature better than the 1951 3F. It can mature earlier than that. Do you understand? So those are the reasons. Regarding the seed production, there is what we call community-based seed production. Community-based seed production means that the farmers themselves identify those capable farmers who can produce good quality seed. Remember, what did I say? One of the factors for yield, for good soybean yield. What is one of the factors? Is good quality seed. To make sure you get good quality seed, the seed must be produced under standard seed production, practice. So in your community, you need to identify farmers who have the capacity to produce good quality seed and supply to other farmers. That is what we call community seed production. If you form that kind of group of farmers who can produce good quality seed and supply to other farmers, we can support you with initial seed, okay, the seed that you can use to multiply. And we can support you with training like the one we are doing now, so that you will have the capacity, the knowledge, and the initial seed to produce what is required, good soybean, good seed for the rest of the farmers. So you start supplying other farmers so that other farmers will also have access the fertilizer, the no-do marks and everything contributes to good yield. Any other question? I hope I answered your question. Any other question? If you have any other question, I'm ready to answer.
So in terms of early getting those seeds, unlike the one that you have mentioned,
you need to submit your request ahead of time. Okay? So we'll consider in what quantity seed we can give you depending on the size of your production and depending of availability of our seed from our side. We can provide you at least something good quantity of seed. But that request should not come late. And then you blame us after submitting your request. Sometimes we may say, give the seed out to other farmers, and then by the time we finish the seed, you send your request, we may not have the seed. So if you really honestly interested to improve your seed production, if you want to form a good seed producers, good farmers who have good knowledge, good land, good motivation to apply good management, good agronomic practice, we can assist you, I promise. Yeah. Any other question, any other suggestion, any comment? You are welcome. Otherwise, thank you very much for your attention. Yeah.
All right, a round of applause for Dr. Abebe. Yes, he has said a lot, and I hope we have taken note. If we still have more questions, we can check our WhatsApp group and put in more questions. Our facilitators will be willing to answer many of these questions. And of course, when we go for the practical training now, if we still have more questions to ask, please make sure you note them and ask them accordingly. So now we'll take a group photograph, after which we'll proceed for the training. Thank you for coming. Thank you. A round of applause, please. You disappeared, right? Yeah.